Guys, I welcome you to today's video. In today's video, I would like to walk you through how you can successfully make use of the commercial blenders, being it the Silver Crest commercial blender, or the Kenwood brand, just as you can see, or any other brand that takes the shape of this in this video. I'm the person of Efujimado, the founder of Money Smile GH. So today I'll be doing practical video on how we can make use of these blenders so that it can last for a very long time for us. I've been using this one for over 6 months now and I've not encountered any problem with it. With me here, I have my ginger, just as you can see. This is my ginger here carefully. So I'm going to use this ginger to, the ginger together with the blender to blend it, to demonstrate to you how we can make use of these blenders. So this is my blender. I take the jar and I fetch the ginger into it. I fetch all, or I pour into it. I pour into it. First of all, when you peel, if it is ginger and you peel it, you try to cut it a bit smaller. I'm done. I take my water. I add a little water to it of my choice. If whatever you are doing, the quantity of water you would like to add to it will be dependent on you. So that one I can't tell you the measurement of water you should add to it. When you are done, you put the jar on top of the base. Then you take the lid or the cover and you cover it nicely. Then you get your socket, your plug plugged to the socket, then you turn it on. When it is turned on, I would like to throw more emphasis to something why a lot of people have been misusing the blender. When you take the jar, for instance, the pivot here, it is metal. And when you look at the base very well and the very black type, I mean this very part is not having a locker, so that when you put it on it and you turn it, it will lock like the old blenders. No. So this is what we are going to do. When you have your item in it, you need to place your hand on top of this very well to keep the jar and the base very firm. So when you get to this part, let me put off the plug to demonstrate something here. You see that this very knob or the controller here is not, when I press it down to on it, it's not going, it releases. But look at this very one, when I press it on, it stays. So we use this very part to break the items into smaller units before we use this part to blend it into smooth texture. Do you get it? So we only use this part to break the items into smaller units, as I said. The most important thing here is the blender, being it the Kenwood, Sinbo, or the Silver Crest blender. They don't work in minutes, they work in seconds. So what we are going to do here is to press this knob to break these items into smaller units within 30 to 45 seconds. I repeat, 30 to 45 seconds. After we are done within this estimated duration of 30 to 45 seconds, you leave it to cool down. That is the motto, to cool down within some few minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes for the motor to cool down before you use these two controllers. So observe what I will be doing. I turn my plug on. I now place one of my arm here to keep it firmly to the base. Then I press this side. I then release my hand and it goes off. I wait within a period of 1 minute to 2 to 3 minutes for the motor to go to cool down, because it will get heated, so it will cool down for a while. When it gets cool down within this estimated period of time to 2 to 3 minutes, you then press this side. So it means you want it to get smooth. If after breaking the unit into smaller particles and is still not to your taste, you press this, you release this one to go off. Then you still let your hand be on top of this. You use it to press it firmly to the base. I'll tell you the reason why we do that. So I use this part, this very controller. I turn it on like this to blend. Then I put it off. So it means I'm done blending my item, just as you can see it. So here is it nicely. Now, the reason why I advise you keep your hand firmly gripped to the jar and to the base is because when you don't do that, the pivot here, the motor turns with maximum force or speed. So when you don't put your hand firmly on it and the jar, you just leave it like this and it is blending, it will be shaking. Whilst it shakes, the pivot here and the pivot on the base here will worn out. So just as you can see, this is someone's own. When you see carefully, it has worn out. Do you get it? This is why some people uses their blenders and you hear excessive noise in it. It means the pivot here has worn out, and as soon as that happens, this part also will worn out, and you won't get smooth blending of your item or whatever you want to do that. So in that case, when that happens, what are you supposed to do? You need to get the pivot, that is the male and the female, this part. You see, you get them. When you don't get them, never hesitate. I'll leave my contact with the on this video, so you contact me and I'll get you the pivot. So in order to do that, you just have to change the blade on the jar. So I'm just opening this one so that you see what I'm doing. So it's something practical. So I remove this. So let's assume this one has worn out. So I put it somewhere, then I take the brand new one and I then fix it or replace it. So I take this and I close it firmly. Let me position it very well. Then I close it well. And I close this one very well. Let me tighten it very well so you see it. I'm done tightening. So here is it. So it means I've replaced the old one that has worn out nicely. When you change that of the jar own, you need to change the very one on top here as well. So that means you need to get a very new one of these pivots. Then you get your screwdriver, you open this, then you take it off, then you throw this somewhere, then the very new one, you fix it on it, then you use the screw, you drop it in it, you take your screwdriver, then you tighten it nicely. If you are in search of these spare parts and you are not getting it, never hesitate contacting me and I'll get you as many as you want. So folks, this is how we make use of the blenders. So this simply means that if you don't have and you don't have your blender and you want to use it, you need to place, when blending, you need to place your hand firmly on top of the blender whilst blending, so that you make use of the controllers. Doing this will keep your blender lastful. It will last for you and all that. So folks, once again, I'm in the person of Efo Jimado, and this is a very short video to demonstrate to you how to intensively use the blenders and have its lifespan. A lot of people have raised concern with regards to the difference in watts, because some are there that we have the 4,500 watts, just as you can see here, 4,500 watts. This very blender I'm using is 3,800 watts or 3,000 watts. Let me turn and look. Let's look at it very carefully. So when you turn the back, you see it here carefully as 3,800 watts. Now the difference is, the higher the watts, the higher its performance, the higher the performance of the motor. Does that mean that if someone is using 3,000 watts or 3,800 watts, does that mean that the lower the watt, the inferior it is? Obviously no. I believe that how you use the blender will determine how last it will be for you. So folks, this is one educative video I wish to share with you to help you use your blenders for its durability. See you in my next video tutorial, where I'll be sharing with you how you can solve your leakage if the jar is leaking. I'll share with you how you can solve such a problem. And in my next lesson, I will see you in my next video. See you and have a good day.